right. Welcome, Save Bar Golf Podcast. It's another week. We took last week off because I was sick and could not sit up straight. So thank you to last week's guests for understanding that I was sleeping when they were reaching out to me because I was not conscious. Shout out being sick, thanks to work. But I have a pretty cool job, so I enjoy it. But today we're joined with Jarrod from Tag Sports. So we were kind of chit-chatting beforehand. I found this product. I shouldn't say I found it, but I found the page and I was like, I'll come back to this. Read it a couple times. I think what you guys are doing and the tag one is super duper cool. And I'm excited to sit down and talk to you about it because you're the expert. I'm not the expert. All I can do is read about it online.
Right.
But Jared, if you want to introduce yourself and then kind of take us through the backstory of tag because you're kind of explaining it a little bit about,
Right.
skid steers and stuff like that. I blows my mind. But floor is yours. I'm super excited. But can you tell me about Tag Sports?
Yeah. Well, first of all, Dominic, thank you for allowing us, Tag Sports, to come on your podcast today, and really appreciate it. And we are so excited to get the word out about Tag Sports and Tag Sports Radar, and so um, it's been a long time coming. Our founder, Zongbo Wang, was a professor at the University of Kansas about 15 years ago. He was teaching physics and stuff about radars in the engineering department at KU. And he had an idea to start a radar company. And even then, when he was doing some research, he was on a C-130 over Antarctica doing some Doppler radar and scanning the Antarctic with the radar. Even then, he wanted to get in the consumer space, but he saw that there was a need in the business to business or enterprise space. And so over the last 10 years, almost 11 years now, they've been developing radars for skid steers like Bobcat, combines like Case New Holland, drones and unmanned vehicles and all sorts of different industrial radar equipment using Doppler. And about 2 years ago, Zongbo came to me and asked me about helping him start a consumer side business focusing on radar, especially for sports activities. He and his son love to play golf, and so we started working on this. And Einstein does have some experience in the sports space. Einstein's our parent company of Tag Sports. They do they developed the launch monitor for Full Swing. We also developed the chronograph for Athlon Sports. And they did a lot of the coding for the TGL, the Total Golf League down in Florida. When I first came on, I had engineers that were actually doing the work on the software development side of TGL. So we have some experience in the sports space. And so about 2 years ago, Zongbo asked me to come and help him start this consumer business. It took us about 5 months to get things situated. I came on board in September of 2025. In February, almost a year ago, in September of 24, excuse me, and then February of 25, we incorporated Tag Sports. In July, we launched the Tag One Sports Radar, and it's one of a kind. I've got one here with me. It is credit card size, little device that has a radar, a transmit antenna, and then a receiver antenna, sends out the Doppler radar. Whatever object it hits in flight, it brings that signal back, receives it. We've got algorithms on the firmware of the device, and then that Bluetooth into our phone. And our phone then processes and does translations and tells how fast was the ball traveling. Did it hit off of a bat? Was there a bat or a club head speed? A lot of different things that we can do. So baseball, softball, and golf are our focus right now. Many other sports are going to come later this year. The great thing about the Tag One Sports Radar, it MagSafes and it goes right on the back of your phone, or it comes with a bracket or a tripod. All the accessories are included. And then the other cool thing is the battery is rechargeable. It charges with USB-C. The device is waterproof, dustproof. I could stick it in a bucket of water for 30 minutes and there's nothing going to happen to it. When we were testing it, we pulled our skid steer out of our warehouse, ran over it with it, and we were still able to use it. We hit it with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, and it still worked after we hit it. So the other cool thing about it is within the app, you can go through different modes and select how you want to um, differentiate the different modes and how you can alleviate a lot of noise and suppress some noise of other objects that are in mid-flight. So there's a pitch only mode, there's a pitch hit mode, there's a tee and soft toss hit mode, and there's a golf mode. And then you can then change up the pitching modes. Am I capturing the radar or the signal behind the catcher, behind the pitcher, or can I do both? Because the pitcher may throw it to home plate, the catcher may then throw it to second base, and I'd like to capture some of those speeds from that scenario. And then also within the app, we have um, a coaching tool basically where you can
Hmm.
set up your team, you can set up all your different players, you can tell are they pitching, are they batting, and you can set up these sessions to be able to capture all that information about all your different players. And you could set up as many players as you want. You could set up 30, 40, 50 players within the app for baseball, softball, and or golf. And then the coach can keep track of all that. And then let's say little Johnny has a Tag One Sports radar. He takes it home. He can then get into that session that the coach set up for him and do some practicing, and the coach can then see what's going on with his session. So there's some sharing going on. The other cool thing about our product is um, you could set it up up in Minnesota, and then you could share your session with me down here in Kansas City, and I could see what's going on in a session with a kid pitching and such. The other thing we have in our app is an artificial intelligence coaching expert. So I can go in and ask it just general baseball, softball, golf questions. What's a slice? What's a hook? What is WAR in baseball? Wins above replacement. It can tell a lot of those things, but I can also then go in and say, show me my last 50 pitches. What was my average across those last 50 pitches? What were some of my issues? How can I correct it? How do I throw a better fastball? And that artificial intelligence coaching expert will bring all that information back to you so that you can learn and be better at baseball, softball, golf.
So we were talking before. I love this thing. I don't own one, but boy, do I want one. Um, I think it's super cool. To me it. I mean, I mentioned this to you before we were recording, but I think it's great for someone like me who, goes to the range, goes plays 9 holes, but I'm always kind of curious about like, wow, I wonder what my spin is, or I wonder what my club head speed is. Not that I am somebody who cares per se, because I mean you've probably seen it, but sports right now, everybody's so dominated by the numbers versus the results, right? Um, Especially like baseball is a game of numbers. Like I love Moneyball is like one of my favorite baseball movies,
That's right.
but
Yep.
you look at it now and unfortunately I'm a Twins fan. There's not a whole lot going on with the Twins right now other than Byron Buxton. But Byron Buxton smacks the living hell out of the baseball.
Yep.
And it's one of those things where you can do everything perfectly in baseball and still get out. It's kind of one of those games, right?
That's right.
Part of me, like the inner baseball kid in me, because I grew up playing, wants to know, wow, how hard can I throw the baseball? How hard can I do this? How hard can I do that? Still, 20 plus years removed from the game.
Right.
Maybe not that long, but um, it's one of those things where, you know, my buddy has a 2-year-old. Well, he might start playing baseball. And well, now, obviously two is kind of young, but eventually he's going to be,
Yep.
in high school. It's a great tool for that. I like that you said it has like a coach built in to where, you can train with it, stuff like that. Um, and then you mentioned the firmware. So is that something that updates over the air through the app, or is that something you have to plug into your computer like I do, like my Garmin watch?
No, it updates over the air. You'll get a notification in the app that says, "Hey, you need to update the firmware," and then it walks you through the steps on how to update the firmware. Basically, just telling you to go click on update the firmware. Don't turn off your phone. Don't turn off the device, and it'll update over the air. That's one of the. I'm glad you cut on that because that's one of the greatest things about our devices is I can update the firmware. I can update the software. You could tell me today that, hey, I want to do such and such, and we're like, you know what, we don't do that, and then we'll go get our R&D team to start working on it, and within 3-4 weeks we could have an update in the app. If we need to update the firmware, we can update the app. We can do all of that and do it rather quickly, and that's one of our plans going forward. We've got a slew of updates coming that we're wanting to do over the next 6 months. One of the things we're going to do is integrate with Playmaker. Playmaker is a live capture team capable so that grandma and grandpa can log into Playmaker and see live action. The coaches and the parents can keep track of balls and strikes, pitch count, score, all of that information within Playmaker, and it's a very easy to use app, and so we'll integrate with them. Our plan is to have that all finished up by the end of March, beginning of April, and those types of things we'll continually work on and update and include within the device. The other cool thing is right now no subscriptions are needed for the app. You just download it from the store, you buy the device, and you're ready to rock and roll.
That's okay. That's pretty cool that you can just, oh, that's a good idea. Let me implement that and boop, 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 here we are. Um, I also think it's very reassuring to those people who go, wow, he like company does radars and that's all they do, right? Like that's, I'm going to talk about Garmin a lot because Garmin is one of those companies that I'm very familiar with. My background is working in the running industry, so Garmin's running stuff and like their GPS and stuff. To me, they're the one kind of consumer grade company other than maybe like Sunto that does things at an extremely high level. Because at the end of the day, like to me, when you say, "Oh, I need a GPS," I kind of think of Garmin. It's kind of one of those things that
Yeah.
goes hand in hand for me. It is very nice to know, like, hey, Hag does, or the parent company, Einstein, they do radars extremely well. They do it in this, and this, including drones, which is badass. I have a drone. I think it's like the coolest thing ever.
Yep.
And I'm gonna cry the day I crash it because I know what's going to happen. Hasn't happened yet, but it will, and I'm
Knock on
super
wood.
excited. Crap. There we go. Um, but it's
Yep.
super cool, and I like that it's small. I like that it's portable. On my other screen, I have the Garmin Approach R10 pulled up, and it's Garmin's portable golf launch monitor. Obviously, you could probably do baseball stuff with it. I'm not super positive, but I'm gonna kind of think of it through like the lens of a parent. I don't have kids. I'm not married. Not that, not there in life yet.
Right.
Um,
Yep.
if I have a kid who's interested in sports, and then everybody likes sports, and then you get interested and you kind of get that kind of nerdiness about sports, kind of going back to like the numbers. Like, um, my favorite golfer right now is Akshay Bhatia, and he actually just won this past weekend. And Akshay is a huge nerd when it comes to equipment, balls, spin rate. Like when you start getting nerdy about sports, it kind of takes over. So I think that's where you have the upper hand because you like that does baseball, softball, and golf right there. I mean, baseball's huge, softball's huge, and golf is right now growing with younger kids, which is
Yep.
depending how you look at it. Some people hate it. I like it. I think it's super fun. Um, but if you look at like the Garmin Approach R10, it just does golf to my knowledge. It's also $110 more expensive than the Tag One. I don't know what Garmin does in terms of radar. I can't imagine it's not accurate, but I have to sit here and go, how much more accurate is it for $110 more?
Yep.
We live in a world where it's super expensive right now, and it's probably going to get more expensive with everything else going on in, you know, the world. Um, but what I prefer about the Tag is I don't have to lug around, an actual monitor. I can put on the
Yep.
back of my phone, call it a day.
Yep.
I think the product is super cool. And if I think about it through like a content creator's lens, like I often have to look at things. Oh, excuse me. I like that, oh, I want to test a golf ball today, see what different spin rates are. All I need is my phone and a thing the size of like my wallet, essentially,
Yep.
and I'm ready to go. I can go pay 15 bucks for a bucket of balls and compare them. I won't even have to, well, probably wouldn't do that. I'd probably go to the actual golf course for that.
Yep.
Otherwise, I'm
Yep.
testing range balls, and everybody knows,
Yep.
everybody hates range balls. It's a golf
Right.
ball.
Yep.
Um,
So one thing I will interject on, we do not have spin rate on this device. But I can tell you, I'm also a casual golfer. And when we were testing this, I actually improved my swing dramatically by just using this radar. And the
hmm,
reason why is because if I swung really hard or I really try to drive into the impact of my club head and my ball does crazy things and the
yeah.
ball isn't efficient and it doesn't get the exit velocity that you would if you just have a nice easy stroke and everything is fluid. And so that and then the ball placement, I realized that actually for me my ball placement needs to be closer to the front of my front foot than my back foot or in the middle. And just there's just different things in different areas that just by understanding the club head speed and the exit velocity of the golf ball, I was able to improve my own golf swing and improvement for, our product is $289 retail. And I was able to do that for a very affordable price to improve my golf game where I didn't have to go buy a $600 launch monitor or $2,000 launch monitor or go in front of a TrackMan that's $20,000 and get all this different stuff. I can tell just from my simple game and for being a hack that just nice easy swing and I can and it doesn't slice, it doesn't hook. If I have a nice easy swing and it's fluid all the way through, I my with my new Callaway golf, my Callaway driver, man, I can get a nice 240 250 yard drive out of it. And I'll tell you, before that I was struggling to crack 175. And just that little bit of feedback has helped me out a lot. We are doing some other things for golf, and those will be updated here in the next 3 months or so, that will make this even much more great to use and easier to use and help people with their golf game. So stay tuned on those things. I can't share those quite yet, but yeah, we're constantly evolving our sports. Tee and soft toss, there were some things that we weren't doing there. And over the last 4 months, we updated that so that we could get the time of flight that from the ball on the tee and into the net, which, maybe 3, 4, 5 feet, we were able to quickly get the exit velocity from the bat hitting the ball off the tee, and we're able to get that into the app pretty quickly. So we're learning as we go. We're constantly getting a lot of great feedback from our customers and updating as much as and as fast as we possibly can. And we do have a really good development team behind us that is very agile and very quick at doing a lot of this work for us.
Well, thank you for correcting me about the spin rate. That was just something that came to my brain right away
Yeah,
because I was watching baseball and I'm like,
yeah.
oh, they're talking about spin rate, pitchers, stuff like that. So
And
that
you're
just
not
kind of came to my mind.
you're not the only one that's asked us about that. I mean, a lot of people are asking, but the in baseball and softball, the only device that does spin rate right now is the Stalker Pro Series, and it's like a $2,000 radar gun. So
Hmm.
the cost of doing some of this stuff is sometimes is unreachable for the common, or the casual baseball player or casual golfer. And so that's one of the things that we are trying to strive for is to be able to bring some of this technology down to the everyday player.
So I am one of those people who I don't need, you know, that much information.
Yep.
Just tell me, I just want to know how fast my club head speed is,
Yep.
how fast that ball comes off. I don't I don't really care about much else. I don't care about point of impact. I don't it's not my thing, right?
Yep.
I'm a casual golfer who just happens to have a podcast and connections within the industry. That's it. I am by no means a pro. I am not going on TGL. I am not doing anything. So, in terms of that, is the demographic for this kind of people like you and I who are just casual golfers who want to know a little bit more, or is it geared more towards like beginners who may not have access to a coach or something like that?
I would say it's kind of a combination of the two. It's more for the casual golfers, maybe the beginners that are wanting to get into golf. And the one thing that I've realized about golfing is you can get in kind of cheap because you can go buy used clubs, you can get some good golf balls. But man, as you want to get better clubs and better balls and you spend a lot of time on the range and go play, man, it can start racking up the bills and that's kind of where we come in is we don't want them necessarily going spending several $1,000s. They can get really good information for $289 from our device and it really helps them with like I said in my experience, just knowing that exit velocity because when I've got a nice easy swing, my exit velocity is probably as high as it's going to be. But if I try to really grind in and hit it as hard as I can, my exit velocity doesn't hit its peak because something else is going to happen. It's the ball's going to do something that it shouldn't be doing because my club head face is either open or closed or tilted or canted. I mean it and that's kind of where we can give you some of that instant feedback is that after 10, 15, 20, 30 strokes, you can start seeing some of those things and you can kind of really pick up on your own self of what's going on because you can see the ball, you can see where it's going, you can tell if your stroke was feels good or not, and then you can then get that data from your club head speed and the exit velocity off the golf ball. And so those to me for just a casual golfer because I'm not the greatest golfer, I'm not that good. But for me, it's helped just in the little bit of testing and stuff that I've done with the team.
So if we're talking about like the app and everything, if we're say we're doing just like a range session, hey, I want to track it. Does it have the ability to say, hey, you hit 10 golf balls, will it store kind of the information from those 10 swings and then kind of can you like look back at it and then compare it to like a future session? Does that make sense?
Yep, absolutely. So as long as you create a session and you put all that information in the session, you can go back for days, months, a year or two from now and be able to see what was all done today and tomorrow and the next week. And then through that coaching expert, the AI coaching expert, you can then go back and say, "Hey, show me my best exit velocity and club head speeds through all my sessions and it'll come back and provide a lot of that information for you." I'm pulling up the app now so that you can kind of see it here. Um, so now here, I will just go into the golf mode. So here's the golf mode. You can see the top is the ball speed. So this would be the exit velocity and then the club head speed. And so if you want to go and start a session, so now it's in a session. The one thing I forgot to mention is now I can overlay video with the
Oh,
club head speed or the club head speed and then the ball speed. So what you could do with the tripod that's included, you could put this behind the ball and then put this facing you, your phone facing you, so you can see exactly what's going on. And then you can go back and look at those videos because it'll save 4 seconds before you're hit and 2 seconds after the ball is gone. And so you can go back and look at those videos and determine, okay, where was my highest exit velocity? Where was my highest club head speed? And then understanding what my what I was doing. Was I dipping my shoulder? Was I dipping back? Were my knees too locked? Were they bent too much? Where's my core? Was my core? And you could do a lot of that stuff yourself. And then you could go and do. You could ask the coaching our ACE, artificial intelligence coaching expert, and that's what we call it. And you could
Yes.
then go in here and with the chatbot, and then you could just start asking it some of those questions about how's the proper way to hit a ball, and you could start researching some of that. Um, and then here I was telling about the sessions. So I want to go in here and just look into my sessions and see exactly what all of my sessions have been over the last few months. Um, so in here you can create a new session, start a plan session, or create a new plan. And so you can do all of this stuff here, and you could do it with that with a coach. You could do it by yourself. There's a lot of things that you can do here.
You took away my next question, and I'm so happy you did because I mean, how often on social media do we see people recording their swings, putting it out there and being like, "Hey, what am I doing wrong?" And I love that that now it's, you can look at it and then I like that it overlays the video. So you could even have your club head speed and your ball head speed. And even if you didn't want to use Ace, as you call him, um, even, like you had mentioned earlier, oh, my velo dipped and I wonder why. Well, you could see the video, you go, oh, my shoulder dipped, or oh no, my wrist opened. You can kind of use your eyes and your brain, and
Yep.
once you start to play golf enough, you know that if your velo dips or club head speed dips or whatever, generally it's something you did. Sometimes there's an outside force, weather or whatever, but 9 times out of 10, it's something I did, right?
That's right.
I have a tendency to open my hips. Or if Derek was here, Derek's my coach for a lot of this. He yells at me to keep my head down because I peek. That's my thing. I pull my
I do
head,
the same thing. I
right?
do the exact same thing. Absolutely. Yep. And the other thing is a lot of times our bodies tell us something's going on before our brain realizes it. And a lot of times when you're swinging, you're going to get tired, and then your body will start late being lazy, or you'll start doing things that's not because you're tired. And then you by going back and kind of looking at some of that data, you can like, oh, I was starting to get tired. That was my 30th hit, and your brain didn't realize that that was your 30th hit. You thought it was maybe your 15th hit or something. And so a lot of that video can help you with some of that, and you can see this trend that's going down because, well, I'd hit 75 balls now, and my hips were opening up. I was pulling my head. I was, not tucking my elbow, and all of these different things that you can see on the video, and it can help you kind of determine, how to go about it.
This thing's cool. Um, like I said, I'm a big fan of when people know what they're doing and then they just make it, right? Like, there's a lot of people who have all these ideas and then they just sit on it. And it's like,
Yeah.
I understand, it's hard to start. Luckily there's a parent company with you involved and stuff like that, but still, like, there are all these ideas. If you think it's a good idea, you should just do it. Like, I think it's genius. I think this thing is super cool. And it's under 300 bucks. I mean, obviously with tax, you might hit 300 bucks, but 300 bucks for something that literally fits in your pocket that can give you great information to improve your game. Because we all know when we're bad at golf, it's frustrating. Unless you're me and I just like to go sit out in the sun, who cares? Um, but there's very few people like that. We want to be good at what we're doing. We want to be good at our hobbies. For under 300 bucks, you could get better and not even talk to anybody. Like, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You don't even have to touch lessons, you don't have to touch coach. You don't have to listen to your buddy who thinks he's the best golfer ever, but then won't break 90. I'm that person. I don't think I'm the best golfer ever though.
Yeah.
And it all, works on your phone. I think that's genius. Um, so in terms of golf, baseball, softball, what other sports would this work well in right now? Like I could see it kind of being cool with soccer, because they kick the ball real hard, but what other sports are kind of in mind for the future if you can share that? If not, it's okay.
Yeah, no, great question. We've tested it with soccer. Matter of fact, last summer we had an intern and he plays soccer over in the UK for college, and so he helped us do a lot of testing. And so if you put the radar on the tripod, and I got the tripod out here, and so folks can see it.
Oh, it's
It
so
magnets
little.
on yep, and then it also can go into a handle. And then the other cool thing is you can put your phone back here in this phone case so that you can put your phone in with it in case your phone doesn't have MagSafe compatibility. But
Hmm.
anyways, put this about 15 feet behind the net, right in the middle. And our field of view for the radar is plus or minus 15 degrees. So if you put this 15 feet behind the net, it'll capture the right goalpost and the left goalpost, and then it'll extend out basically 110 feet from the radar out to the midfield, and you'd be able to capture any kick that comes into the net, and then it'll tell you what it is. You just need to put the mode behind catcher, like you were capturing the speed behind the catcher, and it'll tell you that. We are making an update where we're going to have basically a general mode to do other sports. We have a influencer that plays pickleball, and he's been using it
Hmm.
for pickleball. His name is Pickleball Willie. Shout out to him if he's watching. But he's been using it for pickleball, and your other racket sports you could use it with. There are a lot of sports that has a ball we could definitely use it with, and eventually we will make those updates and be able to do a lot of general sports modes. Cricket, hopefully we will be able to work with some cricket players and get going there, and lacrosse and all sorts of different stuff, and all of this stuff that I showed you, the mini tripod, the bracket, the phone bracket that we call it, the radar, all 289. And your listeners, your followers, they can go to tagsports.ai and check it out. And if they've got questions, give us a shout on our support phone number.
You know, this thing, it's cool. Um, I think it's pretty neat. I could see it being like really cool for like hockey too. Like
Oh
just
yeah,
eventually hockey. I mean, obviously in Minnesota, I've never grown up playing hockey, but it's in my blood. Like when there's a hockey fight, I get excited.
yeah,
Like that's about as exciting as it can get for me is a
yeah,
hockey fight.
absolutely. Yeah,
Well, no, a goalie fight's
we
pretty cool.
yeah, no, that's true. We have a couple of retail partners up in Canada that are selling it, and they've had a couple of guys start testing with it for hockey. So you're 100% right. Anything that has an object that's going to fly over 20, 30 miles an hour, we'll be able to capture it.
All for 289. I feel like this is just a big ad for it.
Yeah,
Um,
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I mean, it's kind of what it is, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's great information. I think it's super cool. I love the size. I love that it's no subscriptions because sometimes, the stuff comes in at like a really good price point and then it's like a $50 a year subscription. And then you're like, well, now it's the same price as everything else at this point. I don't know. I think you guys hit the nail on the head with this. I think it's pretty cool. And it's pretty cool for, I mean, golfers, but also baseball, softball, soccer. I mean, I know a lot of guys that play golf that don't just play golf, right? Like
yeah,
a lot of them are like, oh man, I'll go kick the soccer ball around in my weekend league, or I'll go play softball with the beer league or whatever. And all of a sudden, it's like, well, now you could kind of justify it a little bit
right.
easier because
Yep,
once you start to get into sports, you get real nerdy about it.
that's
And
right.
I think that's the cool part where you're like, ah, man, that ball came off my club at 200 miles an hour. I don't think that's reasonable for me or most golfers. I don't know what the
Not
average
for
is,
me.
but just as an example.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and then you can kind of be like, well, at 200 miles an hour, it went here and it went straight. Perfect. And that's all you need, right? Um, and that's pretty cool. And it's cool to know that it's similar to what they're using at like the TGL and stuff like that because the TGL right now is super popular. It's
Oh
something
yeah.
that I didn't think would last very long. And I think I'm on record in saying that. I'm just not a big fan of like a simulator for golf. I'd rather watch them hit it on a golf course where there's outside factors. Um, but the TGL is more popular than I thought it'd be. You know, we're essentially watching these pros hit it onto a screen, but the fact that it's almost like a consumer grade TGL is super cool. Um, I feel like I'm talking in circles, but I'm kind of blown away by it. Um, are there any other products that you guys would ever kind of work on, or would you just kind of keep improving the radar?
No, we've got a roadmap ahead of us that we're working on. I can't divulge them, but yeah,
Right.
we're not a one trick pony. We've got a lot of other cool things that we're working on, and we're a small team, but we have a great R&D team behind us, and constantly working on new things. I've got a couple of engineers that are constantly thinking about how to improve this product, how to build the next product, and so on. And so yeah, we're constantly going on, and for your followers and watchers, stay tuned and see what we're gonna announce next. I'm excited about the future of tag sports and a lot of really cool things we're working on.
I mean, I'm excited, and it's a newer thing for me. Um, but not to like totally switch gears, but I do, we are a golf podcast, so we do have to talk about some things golf related. Um, and as we talked about, I'm still a little sick, so I am getting a little tired. It's not you. I worked
Yeah,
8 hours today. I took a half hour
absolutely.
nap for my lunch, and I'm like,
Yeah.
hell yeah. For you, for those who don't know, I took a new job in August. I work for Brooks Sports.
Oh, yeah.
Um, Similar to you, I have a really small team, but we are small and mighty. I'm not team leader by any sense of the mean, but it's super fun. And when you get to work with people that kind of share the same values as you and want the company to succeed, it's a whole lot of fun. So I definitely understand what you mean by small team but great R&D department.
Yep.
Brooks is that way. I get to bug everybody about the new products that are coming out with Brooks, and there's some pretty cool ones. Like
Yep.
they're doing stuff for the Olympics in 2028. It's super cool. Um, but we do have to talk about golf. So I was told that you love golf and are an avid golfer by your team, and you and I have talked about golf a little bit. Um, in Kansas, never been there. I can
Yep.
point to it on a map, but I've never been to Kansas. What is your favorite course in Kansas, and what's the golf like in Kansas?
So, the stereotype for Kansas is that it's flat and it's a
That was
flyover
my
state.
that was my
Yep.
first thought is how flat are the courses?
Yep. So I grew up in Southwest Kansas, about an hour from Oklahoma and an hour from Colorado, give or take, right?
Okay.
In my hometown, south of town, is the Arkansas River, and it's not flowing anymore because Colorado dammed it up, but that's a different story. We've got a lot of sandhills, and so they put a couple of golf courses in the sandhills. So lot of ups and downs, a few trees, but not many. But then when you come here to the eastern side of the state, where Kansas City is, I'm on the Kansas side. Lot of trees, lot of hills. So a lot of places. There's just a ton of foliage and trees and stuff. And so my favorite course is Sycamore Ridge, which is southwest of Kansas City and Spring Hill. And it's a fun little course, but man, it there's some areas that it's really tight, lots of trees, pines, big sycamores and oak trees and stuff. And it's got a nice dog leg. I mean, it is a really tough course, but it is so beautiful, wildlife plenty everywhere on it. It's just such a fun course. And then there's a part that kind of opens up, that's it, and it feels a lot like the golf course in England. I'm drawing a blank on it. Oh no, in Ireland it's very bare, there's nothing around, right?
Yeah.
They there's the
Are you
like the
thinking of St. Andrews?
Yes, St. Andrews. That's
Yep.
exactly right. So the back nine opens up kind of like St. Andrews, where it's just really open and the winds just kick your ass through there. And so it is a very challenging course. That's probably one of my favorites, but man, we've got so many golf courses around here. Arnold Palmer has designed some courses around here. Jack Nicklaus has designed a course or two. Tom Watson calls Kansas City home, and he's designed a handful of courses. Tiger Woods has designed a course. So, a lot of golf courses, a lot of people play around here. So yeah, Iron Horse is another great course that I've been fortunate to play on. Beautiful course, beautiful clubhouse. So yeah, Kansas City it's probably one of those best kept secrets. And then Hutchinson has a an amazing golf course that hosted the U.S. Open. I think like 20 years ago. So there's a lot of really cool golf courses in state of Kansas. Then I would say that's probably one of the best kept secrets is just how many golf courses and how beautiful they are.
I was gonna say, it kind of sounds like a little mini golf mecca where it's
Oh,
a little hidden gem, and Minnesota's that way. It's just it snows 6 months out of the year here, so it's a little less well known, I would say, because of the snow. You can't come play golf here in February.
right.
Not gonna happen. A lot of times you can't even play golf in like late October. That doesn't happen. It snows and then, oh, excuse me, and then everything
Yeah.
shuts down. And
I flew into Minneapolis, Minnesota in 1996 when I was graduating from college and went to a job interview. I stepped off the plane. It was minus 21 degrees temperature, not wind chill, just the temperature. I had a
yeah,
suit on and I had a coat on, and none of it, none of it prepared you for it. And then I had to drive an hour south of Minneapolis to the job interview, and there's 5 feet of snow everywhere. And I'm like, no, thank you. I I don't want to be in this weather. So yeah, no, it's Minnesota when it's in the winter and it's snowing, man, it's like the Arctic.
I love it here. I really do. And everyone's like, Dom, you're crazy.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think it's great, and like you said, yeah, it's 21 below before the wind chill. And everyone's like,
right.
oh, it's not that bad. No, when it's cold, it's cold.
Yeah,
And I feel like that's why we appreciate golf a little bit more than people in Arizona or
yeah,
California, uh, Washington, whatever. It's because we physically cannot play it
yeah,
all year.
yeah,
And I also think that's why it's like, when you talk about Minnesota and sports, everybody's a diehard Minnesota fan. It's- You know, when it's cold out, it's not fun to watch the Twins. And then when they suck and it's warm, you're like, yeah, but now I'm outside with a hot dog and a beer, so it's okay.
yeah,
It's kind of that atmosphere here, but I love it, man. I
yeah.
think it's great. It's my home. I don't think I could ever live long term anywhere else. Um,
Very cool.
Although I could live in Washington, it feels like Minnesota without the snow, but I feel like I would miss the snow. Like a
Right.
Christmas without snow would be bizarre. Like that does
Oh,
not.
we experience that almost every year. So
You can
yeah,
keep it.
yeah,
I
yeah.
I we had that one year where it rained and we thought it was the weirdest thing ever.
Right.
Um, but back to golf, we do rapid fire questions here. That's like
Yeah,
our favorite thing to do. And none of it's going to be about tag or
yeah.
the radars. It's all about you. And it's our way to kind of get to know you a little bit more and stuff like that. Um, and the best part is if Derek was here, he'd have them all typed up. I don't do that. That's Derek's job. So it's off the dome for me. So we already talked about your favorite course. We talked about Kansas, stuff
Yeah.
like that. But one thing I love to ask people, and it's so important because music is one of those beautiful things in life. If you had a walk-up song, hole one, favorite golf course, biggest tournament of your life, what would your walk-up song be?
Mama Said Knock You Out by LL Cool J.
There you go. LL. I don't think anybody said that yet. That's a good one. Is that
Yeah.
when he still had the big gold rope? Like, at that point, it's
Yeah.
not a chain. That thing was a rope.
Yep, and the Kangol hat, and yeah,
Yeah,
this is the '90s, early '90s, late '80s, early '90s when he was doing that. Yeah,
LL's the man. Also, when you landed 96, I wasn't around yet. So I was
yeah,
I was probably I think I was a thought at that time.
yeah,
I was not around yet. I just wanted
yeah.
to throw that out there.
Well, thanks for making
Um,
me feel old.
Listen, there are some people that make me feel old right now.
Yeah.
One of my classmates I graduated high school with, she was like, me and so and so have been friends for 20 years. And I'm like, we're not old enough to have friends for 20 years. And she's like, we're almost 30. I'm like, we are old enough to have friends for almost 20 years. And
That's
that's when
right.
it
Yeah,
hit me. I was like, that's not
yeah,
okay. Don't say that
yeah,
again.
yeah.
Um, so we did walk up song. What's your favorite club in your bag?
It's my Callaway driver. I got it about two years ago, and
Huh.
I used to hate driving. My putter was my favorite until I got that driver, and I love driving now. I mean, it's especially if there's a little bit of a wind or a breeze behind you,
Yeah.
and you crest that hill, and then there's a little downhill, and you can get some distance. So yeah, it's that's my favorite club right
Is
now.
it is it the Paradigm? Is that one 2 years ago?
Oh goodness. Well, you know what? I
Oh, you
forgot.
have it, of course.
I do. It's the Rogue, the Callaway Rogue.
Oh, it's the same one I have. Is it the black and kind of coppery one? Okay.
Yep,
We gotta go back.
absolutely. Yep. Yep. Sorry, I'm walking away. Yeah, so yeah,
Yeah, it's the same
yeah.
one I have.
Yeah. No, I love it. It's badass.
That's one of my, I think that was the first driver I ever bought new, was that one. I
Oh,
bought the ST Max, and we had an event, and one of my buddies, he's like, hey, I couldn't fit my golf clubs in the car. And I'm like, first of all, that's the first thing you put in the car for a golf event. Like, what are you doing? And he goes, yeah, I just couldn't fit my golf clubs. He's like, can I use yours? And he's like, I hate all your clubs. Every single one. He's like, I hate them all. And I'm like, we have the same driver. Like, it's like thing for thing. We have the same exact driver, same everything. And he goes, yeah, but I hated yours. I don't know what it was. And I was like, oh my God. So I have the same club. I understand why you like it. When you get
Yeah.
on it, you get on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. I love it.
It's a great club. Um, excuse me. Do you have a go-to snack on the golf course?
Hmm.
It could be one you buy or one that you sneak in.
Well, I'm always sneaking in my Modelo Especials. Other than that, I don't know what snack I oh crackers and cheese I've been bringing and maybe like a jalapeno summer sausage. I'll
Ooh,
sneak in and with some nice cheddar or pepper jack cheese with it. It's delicious.
that is the most Minnesotan thing I've ever heard.
Uh,
I dig it. I dig it.
yeah.
I'm a big fan of I actually have some. Well, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, that's what I wanted. I always have a bag of honey stingers
Oh
with
yeah.
me. They're
Yep.
just like fruit snacks with electrolytes.
Yep.
My it's like the best products ever. Except for yours, obviously.
I went to the PGA show this year for the first time, and they had a booth that we walked by, and they just gave us a bunch of stuff. The little waffles, the fruit, all that stuff. Yep, there you go.
Trust me. Yeah, I used to sell them in one of in the shops I was in, and it was like they're like, you got them. I'm like, over there. They'd buy them by the box. So when they were closing, I'm like, what do I want to steal? And I'm like, the honey stingers. That's what I wanted. So I had myself like a little pile, and I'm like, don't touch them. They're mine. And then I bought them all, and I'm like, perfect. That and then like Noon. Noon is my favorite thing. I don't know if you're familiar with Noon, the little hydration tabs.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
think of Gatorade, but dramatically less sugar, more electrolytes, and it's great for diabetics because there's hardly any sugar, there's no carbs, it's all electrolytes, so it can help kind of regulate everything. Um, my dad's a diabetic, so he drinks it and loves it all the time.
Nice.
Um, so I'm a big fan, and crackers, cheese, and then a good summer sausage. I'm there every day of the week. Count me in. I kind of want some right now. It sounds
Yeah.
great. Um, so my last question, and this is a doozy. There's a chance I'll go to Kansas one day because my buddy turkey hunts in Kansas. It's the only place he'll ever travel to is Kansas. God knows why. It must be good turkeys. If I'm ever
So,
out there,
so
walk us.
can I interject real quick?
Yeah.
So I'm on the board of directors for the Kansas One Shot Turkey Hunt. We host a annual turkey hunt down in El Dorado, Kansas every year. That is my huge passion. So I've shot every one of the turkeys that you can shoot in the United States. I went to Mexico and hunted the Gould's turkey, and I'm waiting for the ocellated to go down to like Yucatan Peninsula. So I'm a huge turkey hunter. So
Okay.
props to you, buddy. That's awesome.
Yeah, he took me turkey on one year. As in, I got really drunk in the woods with my shotgun, and then we didn't turkey hunt much after that. That's my experience turkey hunting. But they're big birds, and I think
Right.
they're dumb. But he goes, no, they're smarter than you think. And I'm like, but I already think they're pretty dumb. And he goes, yeah, they're not the brightest animals, but boy, are they pretty. And then I see him all the time driving, and I'm like, if you walk out in front of me, I'm smoking you. But he he and his dad would go over, down a little bit, and Kansas every year turkey hunting, and he's got the beards and all the stuff from his
Yeah,
turkeys, and he
that's
has a
awesome.
2-year-old, so he's gonna probably take the 2-year-old when he's older and
Yeah.
kind of start that. So turkey hunting with him is huge. So uh, I'll have to mention that to him. But if I'm ever in Kansas, kind of closer to you, kind of walk me through like the perfect breakfast, lunch, and dinner places that you would go to in a day. Like
Oh, wow.
money, like your favorite places.
All right. So breakfast, there's a place called First Watch. Um, Probably it's a chain, so but it's really good here. Um, we got to do barbecue because Kansas City is the world's greatest barbecue capital of the world. So we're either going to Kansas City Joe's or Q39, one of those two. And then we'll probably end up at Jasper's Italian restaurant for dinner. And we'll probably they'll come out and make fresh mozzarella in front of you and probably like a fried panini or I mean a baked penne pasta, and then they have a birthday cake, and then they have the best amaretto sours ever. So barbecue breakfast is First Watch. Lunch we'll go to Oklahoma Joe's or Kansas City Joe's, it's now called. um, they have some of the best barbecue. Their sides are amazing. And then Jasper's Italian restaurant is for dinner.
I was sold at barbecue. I'm a big barbecue guy.
Yeah,
Is that the place that's in the gas station or is that in?
that's right. Yep, that's
Okay,
exactly right. Yep.
okay. I've been to Kansas City one time, but it was the Missouri side because we were
Yep.
watching the Royals play the Twins, and it was incredibly hot, and we never left the hotel room. And I wish I had because I had heard of the place in the gas station, and I'm like, guys, I just want barbecue, and we just didn't go. So it's been on my list, so I need
Yeah.
to go because I'm a big fan of barbecue. I love St. Louis style barbecue, so I'll have to give Kansas City a shot. I'm not one to rule it out because all barbecue is wonderful,
Yeah.
except for the vinegar stuff. That's kind of weird.
Yep. Very. Yep.
That's a little odd. We don't talk about that, but Jared, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Uh, I think the product is super cool, and I love that it. I just love that it's versatile, and it's kind of one of those things that's like great for all ages, you know?
Hmm.
Um, I'm excited to see what's next, and I'll have to keep an eye out for the products coming out.
Very good. Well, thank you for having us on, and really appreciate it. And to all your listeners, go to our website, sign up your email, and you get a 15% off. And if you got questions, send us an email or give us a call. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, I'll have to. I'll add them. Oh, I'll add the add them. Duh. So I'll add the website to the
Perfect.
description of the pod. Don't worry, it'll be
Yep.
there. Um, yeah, I think it's great. And it's one of those things where here at Safe Parts, if we don't believe in it to some extent, we won't talk about it. I think it's cool. It's under 300 bucks. And it's like 4.5 out of 5 stars. Buy it, people. I don't know what else to say.
All right. Thank you very much, Dominic. Have a great evening.
Thank you. You as
Get
well.
you feeling better. See you. Bye.